Rhythm gang flex. Rhythm squad. Rhythm gang motherfucker.
Squad Talk Season 3 Episode 7.
Yo.
I'm your host, or co-host, or these guys, motherfuckers, just want to call me the main host because they don't know how to talk apparently. I'm the host, co-host, sub-host, whatever you want to call me, Danny Pats. To my left, I have Chase, Shorty 40.
What's good?
40 of the 48, not 24. I'm putting some respect on that now because these guys actually
Correct,
know
yeah.
how to actually DJ for once. They're starting to get good, somewhat, not really. And our host, or what the fuck, and our guest for today, we got young Spenny,
Yes.
straight from Colorado. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Hell yeah. How
yeah.
you doing? Wait, I already asked that. Go. My bad, I'm all
Thank
over
you
the
for
place.
taking the time out of your day to talk to us.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you let's start with telling us about a little bit about yourself and how you came about the name Spenny.
For real.
All right. I go by Spenny. My real name's Spencer. That just kind of came about by homies calling me Spenny, and it just kind of stuck.
Nice.
I'm 21 years old. I'm a university student right now, so I'm a full-time student. I go to college. I study psychology and human services.
Oh,
So,
nice.
DJing is kind of a whole separate passion for me, but I really have loved getting into it. Ever since like really the end of high school, going into college, that's when I started to DJ a little bit more, just kind of teach myself some techniques and like how to do it, doing it for friends and like small get-togethers. And then it just kind of blew up into something more than I ever thought it could be, and I'm just kind of running with it. So
Hell yeah.
There
That's
you go.
dope. So, what about your logo? I think your logo is pretty sweet. Is there any like backstory to that?
my logo is just something that I worked with. I worked with Diasco like super closely on that. Shout out to Diasco, he's the homie. Anyone needs logos, super sick. He'll customize the fuck out of it for you.
Hell yeah.
We went back and forth on like a couple of designs, and I just really wanted something that was like clean but also like noticeable, so when you look at it, it doesn't look like every other tear out DJ. It's noticeable and it's clean, so there's no like deep meaning behind it, but I just fucks with it. I think it looks good.
Hell yeah, I like
So
it.
it's like the one main rule whenever you're talking to him is like, make sure it's eligible.
Yeah, you gotta be able to read it on a lineup.
For real.
Yeah, that's
All right, so I know I think we've talked about this before, but you said you started DJing like probably like a little over a year ago, or not even a year ago, correct?
Yeah, so I started the Spenny project. I put out a mix called Banger Danger Volume 1, and it was just a bunch of music that I had found of underground EDM shit, and I was like playing it out for my friends. It's just a mix I made. It's like an hour long, and they're like, yeah, this is cool, you should post it. So I just posted it, made a Twitter, Instagram, on 420 actually last year, so it's literally was just the
Nice.
year anniversary of Spenny.
hell yeah.
And that shit just kind of took off from there, and I just kind of ran with it. I met so many dope people, played a bunch of cool shows, live streams, got to meet y'all all the way down to Texas. So
Hell yeah.
can't complain at all. It's been fun.
There you go.
Keep it going.
So what made you like decide to start getting into DJing itself? Were you just like, did you pick it up like as a hobby at first, and then it kind of just took off, or was it like getting into like the scene through like the music, going to shows, and then it kind of branching off to you being like, oh, I kind of want to do this now?
Right. So my first like exposure to EDM was when I was in high school, and my homies were like, yo, well, I was super lucky. I grew up like 20 minutes from Red Rocks.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, nice.
one of the best venues in the world. So I was going there, every fucking weekend, every week, pre-COVID.
Damn.
So, I had been a hip hop head before all this, and I was like making some like rap beats, just doing super basic shit.
That's
I was super into hip hop basically. And my friends were like, yo, you got to come to this Red Rock show with us. Zed's Dead is going to be playing. And I was like,
Ooh.
who the fuck is Zed's Dead at the time? I didn't fucking know. And they're like, you just come out and just come see what's up. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll come see what's up. Was one of the most fucking fun nights of my life. I think everyone who goes to their first EDM show can say that. We raged the fuck out. We ended up buying tickets while we were at Red Rocks for the after party. Drove our asses straight to Denver, and we're at the after party till like 4 a.m. And it was right after that I was like, this shit is insane. This shit is so cool. I just met so many dope people. The music is awesome. You can just be yourself, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So after that, I just kind of started learning how to DJ on a super shitty Newmark, just like in my dorm room to myself.
Love it.
Thank God no one heard those mixes. I'm gonna play that for anyone because that shit was terrible.
That's funny.
I feel you on that one.
It was fun. I got to learn, and if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here. So
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's dope.
Oh yeah. So for the people that haven't been or haven't gotten the chance to go to Red Rocks yet, sorry, Sky's he just loves sniffing like the inside of my backpack.
Get
But yeah, so the people that haven't had the chance to go to Red Rocks, how would you describe it? Like the overall experience, and then like I guess from the crowd's perspective.
it's even just going. I couldn't even imagine playing a show there. First of all, that's like my dream of dreams. Like I've legit had fever dreams where I woke up and I was playing a show at Red Rocks and none of my songs were loading on my USB. Like shit like that. Like it's just magical there.
no.
If you're in attendance, it's just kind of like you'll be so into the music and then you'll kind of take a second and look around, you know, like you would if you were at any other show, and it's just fucking beautiful. Like you're in this fucking just natural, just beauty, just mountains, trees,
Right.
red rocks all around you. And literally, if you're high up enough on the rocks, so if you're like far back enough from the stage, you can see over the top of it, and it goes straight east. So you can see like Denver and
That's
all the way
crazy.
out to the plains. So it's crazy. Going to it like my first rave there set a super high bar. Definitely,
Yeah, I bet.
especially it being Zed's Dead too. It's insane. And if anyone has the chance to go see a show there, you have to send it. It's fucking magical. That's the best way I could put it.
So I feel like the factor between like Red Rocks being like one of the greatest venues or one of the greater venues here in the U.S. is just like the whole like the experience that you get by going. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get that experience if we went to like the Bomb Factory,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would
no,
be different for sure.
well,
So
it's funny because
so-
there's an
keep going.
award that they were giving out every year, and it was for the best venue in the United States. And Red Rocks won that shit like 30 fucking years in a row.
Oh
So
shit.
they disqualified Red Rocks from winning it and named it the Red Rocks Award. So that's actually
Wow.
a little.
Oh shit!
That's sick. Hell yeah.
Imagine every other venue that like is like we're gonna set it up like this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do everything we can to make this like like an amazing experience for everyone.
Every time.
Like imagine the people
Wow.
that like design Toyota and there's like yeah we're gonna have this gate that kind of like opens that allows the outdoors people to like look inside. Nope, Red Rocks.
You don't have rocks and trees though.
Right.
Nah, we got fake grass.
You don't have the basics. So, how many Red Rocks shows do you think you've been to?
Oh shit. I know the first time I went to Red Rocks, my dad took me to like a jam band concert when I was like 12. And that was my first experience at Red Rocks, and I was like, this place is crazy. Started going there as a teenager in high school and stuff. In total, I'd probably say I've been to at least like 25 plus shows there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's a luxury having that in your backyard, being
Oh,
able to
yeah.
pick up a ticket like 40, 60 bucks any show.
Yeah.
All
So,
of the top artists in the world are there.
so
every
what would you
weekend.
say your most memorable show there would be?
Even outside of EDM.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I don't. All my most memorable shows there have definitely been EDM because like
Yeah.
I've been to Tyler the Creator, Mac Miller, on Red Rocks, and all those are super cool. But the energy at EDM shows at Red Rocks is fucking crazy because I don't know if y'all have been to Denver for a show, period, but
Mm-mm.
it's called the bass capital for a reason. Like people just get the fuck down. Like you literally-
Dallas has entered the chat, bro. Dallas has entered the chat. Let's get it. Come on, let's go.
Y'all in Dallas too. Shout out Dallas. Y'all be going hard every fucking weekend too. But there's some fucking bass heads out here, so they just be going fucking crazy all the time. But my most memorable show that wasn't Zed's Dead, not my first one there, was Alice in Wonderland. It was her first time ever playing Red Rocks,
Oh wow.
and it was like a super like emotional experience. Like I was literally just hugging all my best friends and we were crying, and she was just going on this speech about like surrounding yourself with the right people in your lives, and like if people aren't there for you at your worst times, like they're not really your friends. It
Yeah,
was just really cool. Like
that's awesome.
her set was crazy. It was like super beautiful. She had a whole drum line.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Chase?
it was
That's sweet.
played the violin on stage. It was super fucking crazy night.
Oh yeah.
One of the best performances I've ever seen for sure.
Do you think
That's
the EDM shows just have a better like stage production than compared to like other shows that go there?
100%. The stage production's like a whole nother level, and I think that's a given. But definitely just the energy at an EDM show compared to like other shows that I've been to at Red Rocks is completely different.
Yeah, I feel that. So, who would you say we should be on the lookout for in your area, or just in general, but more so like underground?
Wow, that's tough. You gotta put me on the spot like that.
Hmm.
Anyone who's fucking with Rhythm Squad, I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but no, y'all been doing dope shit at Rhythm Squad for real. I'm hyped for the live stream on Thursday. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be sick.
And just like the up and comers that y'all have been putting on, the amount of talent that I've met, people that I've connected with just through Rhythm Squad has been insane.
Hell yeah.
So definitely, if people don't know and they're here finding out, follow Rhythm Squad. Rhythm Squad
Hell
knows
yeah.
what's up.
Appreciate that.
Other locals just that I've worked with, like just super, I would just say low key artists. You know, they more have their like head in the ground, focusing on their production and just kind of evolving their sounds. And like I would say like Alias is a good homie. He's out of Colorado Springs. Libertalia, he's been like a mentor for me. We released a song together in December, Faces of Myself.
Nice.
Those two are definitely some of the most talented producers in the area that I've been around lately for sure.
Hell yeah.
So I remember whenever me and Connor or Thick Boy were having this discussion, a lot of the like artists that he was shouting out, it was like experimental bass artists, and they were based in like Colorado as well. So with him saying that, I always wondered like, does Colorado have like a good mix of like dubstep, bass, like heavy bass artists, and then like a good amount of like experimental bass artists as well?
Yeah, definitely. So the two main scenes like being out here in Denver is like bass music, like bass capital, super heavy stuff, like what we do essentially. And then there's kind of a whole nother niche with a whole nother like market of venues kind of out here that really just revolves around like that experimental, like deep wub, D&B kind of shit. The Black Box is a great example of that. I don't know if y'all have heard about that, but it's a venue downtown Denver, super sick low-key venue, and they have some of the best like experimental bass artists out there every weekend.
Nice.
Ravens Coon just played out there.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Yeah, artists like that. So there's a whole nother kind of subgenre out here, I would say, but that has a really big following. But just the entire music scene in general, just kind of combining those two in Denver is really fat. Fucks with Denver.
See, I feel like that's like the one main reason why Denver can take like the title for bass capital, is because from what I've noticed here in Dallas is that if you try to like put on like experimental bass like on a lineup, so like if you have two stages, one's like experimental bass and then the other one's like heavy like dubstep, like rhythm, super bass heavy music, like naturally in this like city, everybody will just gravitate towards like the heavy hitting bass.
Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like I'm assuming at least that in Denver it's just like there's like experimental bass artists like on this lineup, they get the same amount of love as like the dubstep person before or after them.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some shows that do like a great job of mixing the both of those. But I would say like for the most part it is kind of separated. Like I could see what you said or like what you're saying. Like there's not a lot of people who are fans of both, who are diehards of both, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So kind of like a separate bass scene and kind of a separate experimental kind of wubby scene. And I'm lucky enough to be involved in both of those, and I got love for both of those types of music. So I'm always checking all of that shit out. But I think just in general having those two subgenres just be so popular in one area just makes the whole scene flourish that much more.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's good if anything, because the more people that are going to shows, more people that are listening to EDM, the better for all of us. So
Oh yeah.
Right. What about a house scene down there?
I mean, there is a house scene, but you'd have to talk to someone a lot older than me.
I like that. I like that.
That one's going on the internet.
Bro, Ryan's gonna just quote under his what'd you say?
No,
Like,
don't let the house heads see that one, man. They're gonna drag me, bro.
Bro, but nothing's wrong with house, bro. Nothing's wrong with
Oh,
house.
I do have love for house. I listen to house. I'm not a house DJ for a reason.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that, you know.
I feel
But
you.
there's a scene for it. Nothing like the Face Capital scene, like
Yeah,
what them was doing out
for
there.
sure.
Dude, I remember talking to Alex or Valent about, I guess, people like spinning house, and whenever he was talking about it, I remember bringing up an example about it, but I forgot who it was. But they played at Lights All Night, and then at Land they have two stages. One, it's like the main stage, but it's more open in a warehouse. The second one's like in a bigger stage as well, but it's more enclosed. So the sound and the bass hits a lot harder. And I don't know how or why, but the house set, or there's like a house duo, I think, that whenever they played, they had the loudest set that entire night. And the reason for that is because I think at one point he said they were quad dropping house. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, they were quad
fucking
dropping
God.
house, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then whenever he said that, I was like, "Well, I've seen Reckless Ryan. Whenever I've seen him play, he chops house.
Yeah.
He'll chop house for like techno." I'm like, "Bro, what?" So there's skill in it. Obviously, their technique, but that's I feel like if you go there and you're watching, the person play, you can get like a deeper appreciation from like how they're spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And house music is definitely like no knock on like the actual artists who are spinning it. I think it takes like a lot of talent to play a good set no matter what. I think like a lot of people like double drops, triple drops, quad drops, chopping, whatever, and a lot of people don't. And like there's
I've
also
seen that.
Yeah.
yeah, and like there's also a point where I want to listen to the song. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like in a lot of my sets, like I'll go through a period of time where I'm just playing out, mixing super, smooth, clean transitions, but just mixing in and out of some of my favorite drops and not fucking with them for a reason, because
Yeah.
a lot of songs are made to fill up the entire spectrum of audio. So that's just how I see it. But the skill in dropping, doubles, quads, all that shit is ridiculous, and I respect it.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, because I remember I forgot what show it was. It was like, I think it was either one for a full grind or ham. I can't remember which one it was. But I remember at one point there's songs that I fucked up my setting up my doubles, so I just let them ride out and just played it like as it is, like as a song like solo. Because for me, whenever I play, I'll usually just play like doubles, and if I have 3 decks, I'll play triples like the entire night. But whenever I did that on accident, because I'm not gonna lie, I was too fucked up to play. So whenever I was doing that, I noticed a better crowd reaction from whenever I was just letting songs just ride out on their own, as opposed to sometimes when I was like playing doubles and chopping, because I could see how it can interrupt the flow of the night.
Well, there's a lot to be said for knowing when to double and triple drop though.
Yeah.
Because it can be used and people fucking love it, and it shows your skill as a DJ also. But also reading the room, being able to play a good set that people are going to enjoy for a full hour. I feel like that's more important than showing off that you can chop for an hour straight.
No,
And
100%, 100%.
That's just me personally.
Yeah.
And I respect everyone who does their own thing, because as we talked about, I like all kinds of subgenres, and there's all kinds of different mixing styles. So I fuck with it. Just personally, I try to make my sets as entertaining as possible and try to make a flow. Like there's peaks, and then it kind of calms down and then goes back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just hitting them drop after drop, it can get to be like a lot.
Yeah,
Well,
too
it can be a
much.
lot, but it can also be repetitive.
That too, yeah, definitely.
Because if you're just going like build up, drop, let a song ride out for a little bit, build up, drop, people can kind of like anticipate what's going to go on or what's going to happen, and you kind of lose that element of like surprise in a way that people do love and enjoy seeing in live sets.
Very true.
Yeah. Do you have any shows that you can tell us about upcoming?
I don't know if I can have any coming up I can tell y'all about just yet. But,
Well, when are we dropping this one?
It's gonna be far in the future, anyways. Let me see.
Checking the date. Which one?
May 10th.
May 10th?
It's gonna drop on May 10th. So, can you tell us by that date?
What's dropping on May 10th, or the lineup?
This episode is dropping on May 10th.
So
if
anything
you
that's
can
like
tell us
coming
by
up.
that time.
Yeah, like anything that's coming up like around that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
After midnight.
Right.
Well, for all my Texas fam that's watching this, I might be seeing y'all out in Texas this summer, so just keep an eye out for that.
There we go.
I don't want to
Hell
say
yeah.
anything much exactly, but just keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll get to see what Dallas is all about sooner or later.
Hell yeah.
My biggest thing this summer that I will just kind of spill now is out of state. I've done as much as I would have liked to do in my first year here in Denver, and I met a lot of good people, and I want to keep going. But yeah, out of state, coming to some different cities, meeting some new people.
Hell yeah. That's good.
That's what this summer's gonna be looking like for me. So look out for those announcements. Yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think by the time this airs out, well, no, because we haven't even seen it. Because I was gonna ask you your opinions on Throwing Elbows stream, but I mean, we still haven't even seen it. So
I don't even need to see it. Shit was fire. Throwing Elbows Thursday. That shit was crazy. If y'all missed it, y'all whack, y'all weak.
Facts.
everybody went off. Everybody went off with the production as well. I don't know.
I saw these guys for the first time. I think they're named like Pats and King Koopas.
Whoever the fuck they are.
Whatever the fuck they are. But they were like throwing down on the stage with some lights. Shit was wild.
They were legitimately throwing elbows.
They were
For the entire set, they were
pressing
just throwing
buttons.
elbows. They just had the song on repeat for 45 minutes.
But I heard that shit wasn't even recorded on a Thursday though, so I don't know.
I don't know, dude. They sound like some chumps.
Oh god. Okay, yeah.
Hold
That's
on.
sick if y'all missed it.
The what?
I said the stream was sick if they missed it.
Yeah, if y'all missed it, then, you know, why?
You missed it.
Why? But you missed it. You missed it.
Okay, so do you produce?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay,
I have
so
my first one released in December on Nocturnal Waves.
oh yeah, what was it
Wasn't
called?
the first track that they released on their, like, I guess, record label?
It was the second track they released on their record label.
Was
Yeah.
the second?
Oh, yeah.
And because I remember they originally started it, and I remember talking to Taylor, the one that helps run the Grindfest streams, and another big member of Nocturnal Waves, about them starting, I guess, that label. And I think it was around the time whenever you released it, so I knew it was like one of the first ones that released.
Yeah. No, that song was about to be self-released. It was like a week out from being self-released, and then Nocturnal Waves hit me back about it, and they wanted the song, so I was super stoked to get to release it through them.
Oh, yeah.
That just broke like 5,000 streams on SoundCloud the other day.
That's dope. Hell yeah.
Get some
Congrats.
sheesh in the chat one time.
So, yeah, this summer, more music. It's definitely coming. You know, being a full-time college student, though, I'll have the most time this summer to get everything I want it to be. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually one thing I want to ask you. So how's it like being a college student while trying to balance music at the same time?
it's a fucking bitch, bro. A bitch and a half.
Yeah.
I'm taking 15 credit hours, so that's like above full-time college student. I also have a paid internship that not a lot of people know that I'm doing, but I work with Monster Music and like their marketing campaigns and stuff like that. And so yeah, I work too on top of that.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot, especially just like being in college and also trying to have a life.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that keeps me going is that I enjoy it. So
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Even sitting down here with you guys and talking, like I love this shit. It's
Oh, yeah.
awesome, and it's well worth the time and like any sacrifices I make for it. And that's just what I tell myself when it gets hard.
It's always worth it at the end.
Yeah, 100%.
So let me put this like in a like easier way for people to understand. How much free time do you usually get, like per week?
I mean, if what I consider free time is like when I'm producing and when I'm mixing.
Right.
And I do a lot of side hustles. That's just like kind of my niche. I hate working fucking 9 to 5s. I hate making hourly wages. So I never. I've really been about that. I always try to make passive income and do shit like that. So free time is little to none every week. Free time I do have, I like to hit up my friends and go get a couple of drinks. So I would say maybe a couple hours a week. I'll hit up, the homies. We'll go get a few drinks and shoot the shit. But other than that, I'm always working on something. I'm always up to something.
Busy, that's good.
Busy man, busy man.
So, who would you say has had an impact on your mixing style or producing style?
Yeah, wow, that's tough. There's like a lot of fucking artists that I really look up to, but
That's actually a really good question because I think whenever was it for Zion? Whenever we had him, I think it was Zion, right? Yeah, whenever we had him for Zion, or was it? I can't believe it was another stream.
yeah, I was on that too.
Okay, because I remember for one of them you were mixing in Mac Miller. Like, fuck, I can't remember which song it was, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was Best Day Ever by
Yeah.
Mac Miller, and I opened with that into Chi. I mixed it into Chi.
Nice.
Which is super weird.
But I haven't really seen anybody really do that. I think the only other person that I know that mixes Mac in their sets, I think is fuck, what is her name? She used to go out with Rez. What is her name?
Lucy?
Huh?
Lucy?
Yeah, I think she's like the only other person I've seen mixing Mac Miller into her sets.
Yeah, just that whole experience of being super into hip hop, like when I was younger, this always stuck with me. So I feel like that, not as an artist, but as a whole, has kind of stuck with me and has an influence on my style, kind of. You'll hear me play like kind of like trappy drops, but I hate actual trap drops. So they're like super heavy trap drops, if that makes sense. So that's kind of my like niche that I really like to listen to personally. But like mixing style, I would say Sudden Death. I've seen him a couple times now, and he does a really good job at like going between highs and lows in his mixes. He doesn't do too much, but he's also not doing too little. So I would say mixing wise, that's kind of around where I like to be. Production wise, I don't even want to compare myself to any of my fucking people I look up to because I'm not there yet. But honestly, I just want to just keep learning in production. If I can get anywhere near like these guys that we're listening to on the daily, then I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I feel that.
So you said whenever you first started before EDM, you were making like trap, or not trap, but more like hip hop kind of beats.
Yeah, just absolutely ass beats on the fucking shitty ass software that I don't even know what the name of it was. It came with like a shitty MIDI keyboard I got.
So whenever you're doing that, like to promote it, were you doing like he was like he was like on every artist's like comments and like DMs. I think it was like Saif or something like that.
Fuck, Cypher or something?
Something like that. Or is that how you promoted your music or nah? Because dude, he's actually had some pretty big like he's worked with a pretty like good amount of artists, and he'd always like comment under like every artist, every post. He's like, "Yo, hit me up for beats." And then at one point, he actually ended up like collabing with like a really big rap artist, and people were just like, "What the fuck?"
That shit can happen like that. I remember the first thing I did when I was like 15 and I started to make really shitty beats and I wanted to like see what I could do with them is I put them on like it's basically like Beatport for rap beats kind of thing, and people can like pay you for the beat or whatever. And I think I sold like 2 beats.
There you go.
That I was doing that, but
it's solid $2 before tax.
Yeah, right. It was more of just like a learning experience then. But when I figured out like, oh, you can get paid for like making music, like that was kind of like the start of, I think, kind of where I'm at now, because it just kind of snowballed into like, oh, I can do something I like am really passionate about and get paid for it.
Right.
There you go. So whenever you said you were doing that, like, you know, the hip hop beats like a while ago, so when did you actually like sit down and start taking production like serious, or you're just like, all right, I'm gonna start you know, I'm gonna download like the proper, you know, DAW, the proper software. I'm gonna watch these tutorials or whatever. What do you think you started doing that?
Well, knowing what I do now, I don't think I properly committed myself to production until about like a year ago. Um, is like that's when I really started to get into like Ableton, FL, just trying to get like competent in like multiple different DAWs and just understanding just how to arrange a song, how to sound design, how to EQ, compression, like all that super basic shit. That just takes a lot of time. So like in the first year that I really took it more seriously and tried to produce EDM, the biggest things I realized were, for one, EDM is a lot fucking harder than rap beats. There's a lot more that goes into producing something like that than making a hip hop beat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I also just realized that it's going to take time, and like I've made hundreds of things that are just sitting on my desktop that will probably never go out anywhere, but all of it was useful because I was able to learn something or apply like a technique I watched in a YouTube video or that I talked to someone on Discord about. And so it's just kind of like really slowly inching your way along and kind of like building up your arsenal of like shit that you know how to do.
Oh yeah. I feel like one thing I always try to preach to everybody is that you won't learn or you won't kind of get better at it until you start doing it. Granted, I never like, take my words or like, try to like do what I preach, but I feel like that's like the one main thing that people, because I've noticed that like producers that are starting off, like they'll do it, run into like some issues and then kind of like step back from it because they don't know how to like overcome it. But really, it's like you don't know how to solve those issues, how to solve those problems until like you keep trying to go at it until like you finally learn how to, and then you can learn. You can take that knowledge and just keep progressing.
Right.
Exactly. And what I did when I was first starting, because I really started producing heavily like last summer, was I just set aside 2 hours a day, and I know not everyone might have 2 hours a day. But even just like staying up late night, like staying up from like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and just forcing myself to stay in the DAW for just 2 hours, watching a video going super slowly. I could take like a full hour just watching a 15-minute video and trying to figure out just how to sidechain or something super basic. But at least I'm doing something and I'm learning. And so just committing myself to that 2 hours every day. And then when I got, more busy and back into school again, it was like, okay, I want to do 30 minutes to an hour a day. Yeah. And even if I just hop in and make like an 8-bar loop for 30 minutes, at least I'm still practicing and still kind of picking up some techniques. So that was like the biggest thing I would recommend to anyone wanting to start is just consistency.
Yep. Yeah.
Even when it sucks, just like you were saying, just keep going.
Yeah. Because I know for a fact that some of like the bigger artists, whenever they release a track, it's not like they're just sitting down, at their computer workstation or whatever it is, dropping a banger after banger. Like I'm pretty sure there's like one track out of hundreds of whips or drafts that never see the light of day because it doesn't meet to their standards, or it's just complete ass. Like until like you just gotta get like those rough in the works out of the way so you can get to like where you want to.
Yeah, I think so many people sit down in the DAW and put that pressure on themselves, like, okay, I need to make a banger now.
Yep.
I'm making this file, and this file is going to be the song that puts me over the edge. And really, that's not how it is. Like in my first 14 months of producing, I have 2, maybe 3 songs that I have fully like fleshed out that I'm working on regularly, and hundreds of 8-bar, 16-bar, just like small shitty whips and ideas that I'm putting together randomly. And very rarely, like you were saying, that 1 in 100, I'll sit down and I'll just get like a spark of creativity and it'll just keep flowing and I'll just get in flow. And at that point, I just don't step away from the computer. Like, and that's only happened to me like once or twice where I'll make an entire song in one sitting, but that's so rare.
I feel you on that one. Because for us, because I'm in a Discord group, it's called the Kaiju Pit. Shout out Kaiju Pit one time.
I'm in. Shout out Kaiju Pit.
Shout out Kaiju Pit. I know Tristan, he recently released the production challenge that I think is due this Thursday. But even before that, the year plus or so I've had Ableton for, I probably have like 40 something whips started that are just complete ass. And then once this one started, I remember whenever I started it, that's when I got like what you were saying, that wave of creativity where you're just working on it and just don't stop. And
Right.
again, I've been doing this for or trying to do it for over a year, and as of last week, I barely hit that. So
And it's a good feeling, bro.
yeah, because you can see the progress and the progression you're making. But again, you won't get to it, and you probably won't hit it until you're being consistent with it, and just because you're saying 2 hours a day. If you stop doing it, that's 2 hours you could have had, or the 2 hours that you do, that's 2 more hours under your belt that you could have had if you were just to go out.
Exactly. 100%.
Facts. Big facts. Slow progress is better than no progress.
There you go. Facts.
That's true.
All right, so I got a little different question for you.
You gotta speak up, bro.
I have a little different question for you. My bad.
Average.
If you had to change something about the scene, what would it be?
Cancel culture.
Jeez. I didn't ask you.
I would just say the biggest thing that I've seen recently is I just wish people would respect other people's opinions and let other people have different ideas than them. That's just the biggest thing that kind of gets to me. And I'm not the kind of person who is gonna get involved in Twitter beef or hop in on the comment section or subtweet someone.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the value in that personally, and it's just draining to me. And I got so much going on, as we've talked about, as it is. I don't really got time for that shit.
Right.
But when I see it, and I log on and I see the negativity, and I see people just absolutely dragging someone just for having a different opinion than them,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of gets to me because it's. I just wish we could have that mutual respect for each other that everyone wants to preach about. Plur.
Yeah. Right.
If you want to preach it, like you said, you gotta practice what you preach. So
Facts.
I just wish people would just work a little bit harder on respecting opinions. It's all right if someone doesn't think the same thing you do, and you guys don't have to agree on everything.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So before we go, Young, Spenny, Spencer, is there any last words, any last shout outs you want to say? Anybody you again should be looking out for? All your homies, anybody you want to put on right now?
Oh, sheesh. I would say go see the homie Kairos, who's coming down to Dallas. He's making his debut.
Oh yeah.
That kid throws down, super well deserved. I wish I could be out there for that. That lineup is awesome. Fucking shout out Bait Session, Rhythm Squad, Full Grind. Everything that I've been seeing in the Dallas area and Texas is super exciting, and it's just good to see so much new talent, getting a platform and succeeding on that platform.
Right.
So I'm super proud of y'all. What y'all are doing is super sick.
Thank you.
As far as up here, if you're in the Denver area or you're in Colorado, I would just keep an eye out for companies like Magnetic Oasis. COVID is a little behind Texas here. We're not open to the extent you guys are, but Magnetic Oasis has been doing a great job at throwing safe and fun shows all during quarantine. And as Denver starts to open back up here in the next coming months, they're bringing out some really good artists, and we're putting together some really good events. So
Nice.
keep an eye out on guys out in Denver.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Maybe we can finally take a road trip up to Denver and get a Red Rock show.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right,
They may
Spenny.
not have talked about that.
All right, Spenny. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Seriously, we appreciate it because we know that these episodes can get pretty long. So we always appreciate it whenever somebody takes the time to sit down, just chill, kick it with us, talk about whatever comes up and whatnot. So thank you so much. I am Danny Pats. This is Chase Shorty 40,
Yeah.
half of 48, aka the 40.
Yeah.
I wanted to say 24 so bad. And our special guest for today, Young Spenny.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. This has been Squad Talk Season 3, Episode 7.
Yeah.
Check it out to you guys.
This is
See you on the next one. Peace.